Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about the biggest topic in the NFL world right now, which is Aaron Rodgers' replacements as the Jets quarterback is gone for the season. Could the Jets pick up the phone and call the Falcons and inquire about Taylor Heinicke's availability? Then we're going to run through some news, including Atlanta moving on from a running back. And do the Falcons have an Kaleb McGary problem? Maybe old McGary is back. But before we get into all that, help us grow this channel by sharing today's video. If you click the share button, hit the Twitter icon, hit the X icon, whatever, and tag producer Rolly, which, by the way, shout out to producer Rolly for that awesome new intro. Well, we're going to give you a shout out on a future show. So follow these very simple instructions. Your name will be on screen for everyone to see. But like we said, Aaron Rodgers is gone for the season. He does have what we all thought would be the case after watching Monday Night Football, a torn Achilles after just 4 snaps. So I wouldn't say all 32 teams are going to be on QB trade watch. I don't think the Jets are going to be that extensive in terms of looking at every single team's backup quarterback or even maybe some starting quarterbacks. But I do think the Jets will be looking into the free agency market and possibly the trade market, because Robert Saleh has never really said anything inspiring about Zach Wilson. He did not draft Zach Wilson, and he doesn't seem very attached to Zach Wilson, right? It seems like every opportunity Saleh gets to find a new quarterback or get a different starting quarterback, he goes down that path. And I can't really blame him for that. It's not like Wilson has put up great numbers or anything close to that, but I definitely believe that Saleh, after sleeping last night, is not going to wake up going, you know what? This is 2-0. The turnaround starts now. No, he's going to look into every single option, and that could be the Falcons maybe giving up Taylor Heinicke, right? Marcus Spears, who covers the NFL, said, if I'm the Jets, I'm calling about Taylor Heinicke. So we've got some buzz out there, maybe about the Atlanta Falcons moving on from Heinicke. And if I were the Jets, I would call too. I would call a lot of teams, right? I would do my homework. I would do my due diligence, and I would see what the next best option is, because the New York Jets constructed a very talented roster that is designed to win now. And Zach Wilson last year with a similar roster didn't do a whole lot of winning. Now, when you compare Wilson to Heinicke, you might be surprised that Heinicke, in my eyes, blows him out of the water, right? Much better completion percentage. In nearly the same amount of games, by the way, over 1,000 yards, right? More touchdowns, a little bit more interceptions. Quarterback rating is way up. The yards per game is way up. To me, this is a no-brainer. Taylor Heinicke, even though he might not be the former second overall pick, is a better quarterback than Zach Wilson. Now, maybe after getting benched and, learning from Aaron Rodgers throughout the training camp and preseason, maybe Wilson can flip a switch and go on some miracle run. And all it costs for the Jets to move on from a couple draft picks and trade for Aaron Rodgers, only to have him get hurt, only for Zach Wilson to kind of wake up and get activated. But at the end of the day, I think Heinicke is a better quarterback. And if Robert Saleh is watching this video right now, he might be persuaded to give the Atlanta Falcons a call. Now, would you trade Heinicke to the Jets? He's only been in Atlanta for 6 months at this point now, signed with them in free agency back in March or April. So it hasn't been a very long stint so far with the Falcons. But I lean yes for the right price. I'm not trying to run Heinicke out of town. But if there's a good deal out there, like if you could kind of get the Jets by the balls right now and go, we'll give you Taylor Heinicke for a third-round pick, who says no? A backup quarterback for a third-rounder? Now, if Desmond Ridder starts to really sink, yeah, you are turning to Logan Woodside. That's not going to be a good show for the rest of the year. But if Desmond Ridder ends up being the guy, then you're moving on from a backup quarterback who, fingers crossed, never plays a snap outside of a kneel down in a blowout, and you're getting a good day 2 draft pick in return. For me, negotiations start at a third. Is Taylor Heinicke worth a third? Absolutely not. But you got the Jets by the balls, right? Week 1 into the season, they got to win in the win column. They need a quarterback. Listen to Robert Saleh talk about Zach Wilson. He never says anything very inspiring or belief or encouraging around Zach Wilson. So offer a third. If they say no, fine. They can call some other team and inquire about their backup. But every team knows that the Jets are going to have to overpay if they want to trade for a quarterback. No team is going to give the Jets a good, fair offer because they know the Jets are desperate. We are in the middle of the season now, right? We are past week 1. So Would you accept this trade if you were Terry Fontenot, right? A for accept or D for decline. If I was Terry Fontenot, I would accept it in a heartbeat, and I wouldn't let the Jets have a second chance to think about it. I don't think the New York Jets would trade a third for Taylor Heinicke, but they might not have an option if they don't want to. If they do not want to stick with Zach Wilson. Now, you always have an option when it comes to getting the best tickets and the best seats to go see your favorite team, or go see a concert, a comedy event, theater, whatever it may be. Thanks to our proud sponsor today, Game Time. With the last-minute tickets for the best prices out there, you can stop stressing about going to see your favorite team or event and get killer deals on last-minute tickets with their best price guarantee. Now, Game Time has a lot of great functions and features. One of my favorite is that you can actually see what your view will be before you even purchase your tickets. So there's going to be no surprise or no Googling like, Mercedes-Benz seating chart, trying to zoom in and figure out where you're going to be sitting. No, you can actually get a bird's eye view of what your seats will be before you even purchase your ticket. So I love Game Time. They have awesome deals. You can forget about planning months in advance. They have deals on tickets right up to the day of the event, plus flash deals on tickets for football, basketball. So if you want to go see a Hawks game, baseball, if you want to go catch a Braves game, concerts at the Fox Theater, comedy, theater, and more. Lots of great stuff going on. So make sure you download the Game Time app. They're going to give you $20 off your first purchase when you use the promo code FalconsChat. So download the Game Time app today. Terms apply, but once again, $20 off your first purchase. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps, and you are set. All that information, by the way, is down in the comment section and the description of today's video. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Some news to hit on here as we move on from the Heinicke trade section. Orlando Ledbetter tweeted out that Falcons released running back Godwin Igwebuike, and hate to see it for his own personal sake, but they had Iggy activated on Sunday, and it makes me wonder, is this making room for a Cordarrelle Patterson return after he missed week 1 due to a thigh injury that has just bugged him throughout all of training camp and preseason? I mean, Bijan and Algier were prolific in that first win, right? 3 touchdowns combined between the two of them, well over 100 yards from the line of scrimmage. Adding the third head in this 3-headed monster of Bijan, Algier, and CP84, it's going to be an impossible running back room to stop. You might slow them down, right? You might limit them, but at the end of the day, these 3 guys, they're going to get their wins in. And you just got to take that medicine as a defense and know that going into Sunday. Now, speaking of going into Sunday, we want to get some watch parties here, and we are trying to push our bosses to give us studio space to do a watch party this time on Sunday. And if we can get to our next goal, which would be 14,000 subscribers, we're going to get the green light. But we need everyone's help to do so. So help us reach our goal by clicking the subscribe button for absolutely nothing down below. To wrap up the show, let's talk about the right tackle, Kaleb McGary. Do the Falcons have a Kaleb McGary problem? Terry Fontenot gave McGary a nice contract in the offseason after declining his 5th-year option and letting him test the free agency market. And ultimately, McGary had a breakout season in year 4, but now he's looking like the guy that we saw years 1, 2, and 3. Now, this was not a massive overpay or anything. It was a 3-year, $34 million contract, just $15 million guaranteed. So if you are already hitting the panic level, you can look at this as a 2-year, $15 million contract. You can get out in 2025 with very little dead money. So don't look at, the Falcons are in for $34 million. No, the Falcons are in for $15 million if they want to bail, because McGary is back to being the guy we saw in the first 3 seasons. Now, last year, it was a phenomenal season for Kaleb, right? 86.6 overall grade. Pass blocking was improved, 66.9. But the run blocking, which is what Atlanta wants out of their offensive linemen, were some of the best in the NFL, 91.6. He was the 4th best tackle in PFF size. He was less than ideal on Sunday. I think we can all agree that Atlanta got bullied up front in the first half. There was a turnaround in the second half, but still, you guys are getting paid a good amount of money. Lindstrom, McGary, Jake Matthews. You have high draft assets going with Bergeron. This offensive line should have been better, and Desmond Ridder should not have been sacked 4 times. But against the Panthers, McGary did not grade very well. 65.1 overall grade. The run blocking, which has never been the issue, is there, 79.7. But for whatever reason, I don't know what Kaleb McGary has against Desmond Ridder and his entire family, but he has no problem being a turnstile. 43.9 pass blocking grade, 2 pressures allowed, and 1 sack. McGary, like I said, has always been able to run block. That's not an issue. And if Atlanta wants to run it every single snap and play some Army or Navy football, he's the man. But they're going to have to throw it at some point. And that's going to be a liability, right? He needs to get the pass blocking improved. He needs to get it under control to justify the contract, which sure looks like $34 million. I look at it as 2 years, $15 million. But show of hands, who would love $15 million? We all would. So if you're getting paid $15 million, you got to be better at your job. And your job, number one, is to protect the quarterback. And a pressure and a sack and 2 pressures yesterday or on Sunday is not doing a good job of protecting the quarterback. So be honest with me. Are you worried about the former Washington Husky, Kaleb McGary? Yes or no? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I'm worried. I mean, we saw a lot of bad film and a lot of bad tape from McGary over the first few seasons. He had a breakout year last season, but there are always instances of guys being one-hit wonders and being a little bit fraudulent where they've got one breakout year, which always seems to happen, by the way, in a contract season. Cha-ching, they get paid, and then they go back to being the guy they were before Atlanta even thought about picking up the 5th-year option. So I'm definitely worried, but let me know your thoughts down in the comment section.